Hi guys, welcome to your second session for DILR. We have completed one session in DI where we discussed how to work with decimals, how to have quick approximations while dividing. And now we'll continue with solely focusing on LR and especially arrangements. So before we start off, a quick intro. Hi, I'm Munira Lokhandwala and I am Calcutta alum, a serial 100 percentiler, a 99 percentiler GMAT. I also have a CAT verbal book published by Wiley and available on Amazon. I've scored 100 percentile in verbal, 100 percentile in math, and 99.99 percentile in DI. Right? Great. You can find me on Unacademy. Search for Unacademy in the Play Store. Install it. Go for the plus CAT courses. Get the subscription. Which subscription to go for? We can talk about it towards the end of the class. You can use my code Munira10 to get a 10% discount. Right? So before we start off with LR, let's finish the puzzle that we had started. I had given you all, right? Last class about this dice. So let's solve that first. I hope you all have spent some time thinking about it, right? So yeah, I told you all yesterday itself. In fact, I think, yeah, today morning that you are going to basically add up two numbers, right? Numbers here, which is the bottom of the first dice and the top of the second dice. So let's number these dice. This is the first dice, second, third and fourth. So you have four dice, right? So this यहाँ पे intersection, you have to add up the bottom of the first dice and top of the second. Here you are adding up bottom of the second and top of the third, and here you are adding up bottom of the third and top of the fourth. So this is what you need to add up, right? Just for our clarity. Bottom of the first plus top of the second plus bottom of the second, right? Plus top of the third plus bottom of the third, and lastly the top of the fourth. So ideally you should be finding all numbers, but you know how I feel about such things, right? We don't have the time. So let's see how we can shorten some of the things, how we can make some things quicker. They're already telling us that opposite faces add up to 7. So even the top and the bottom of the same dice should add up to 7, right? So this is 7, definitely. These two will add up to 7. So I don't care what the numbers are, right? I need the addition. So 7 plus 7, you have 14 already fixed. Now I need to add these two numbers to find the answer. Now I can see the top of the first dice. It is 3. And the bottom and the top has to add up to 7. That means the bottom here will be 4. So this number also we have got. That number is 4. Right? Now I need to find out the top of 4. Let's say this is x, right? So I need to find out 18 plus x. Now what can x be? Can x be 4? Can x be 8? No, x cannot be 8, right? We know dice is 1 to 6. Can x be 6? Can x be 3? And can x be 5? So we are just looking at all these options and determining what can x be, okay, based on the options. So 4 is already here, guys. So 4 cannot be at the top of the fourth dice, right? So 22 is out. Then since 4 is here, 3 is going to be on the opposite side. So I cannot have 18 plus 3 also. It cannot be on top. So 21 is also out. Since 2 is here, the back has to have the 5 here. So 18 plus 5 is also out. And hence we are only left with the answer of 24. So answer could either be 18 plus 6, 24, or it could be 18 plus 1, right? 19. There are two possibilities for the answers. And that is why the question says could, not should or will. Okay, when there's a unique answer, they'll say which of the following will be the sum. The could means that there is more than one answer. And this is fine, right? We have got one answer from the options and that answer is 24. Great. I hope you've already solved this before we discussed it. Now let's get down to arrangements. So the thing about DI and LR, first I want to make this distinction, okay? We have already done some DI. The big difference between DI and LR for the CAT is that DI has less investment, less risk. Why? Because usually DI, understanding the table, the graphs takes less time, and then you're just doing it one question at a time. So if you get a question, great, you solve it, you move on. You don't get a question, great, you leave it and you move on, right? So there's less risk, less, right? You have less risk in DI, and that is why you should be very good at DI. Don't have any of these, biases where you're saying, oh, I don't like fractions, oh, I don't like dividing, etc. Whichever paper, whether it is your CET, whether it is your XAT, whether it is your CAT, DI will have less risk and you should practice it, you should be good at it. And it's just arithmetic in some sense, right? It's arithmetic with pictures. Okay, so DI we should be good at. Now in LR, there is more risk. Why? Because you first spend some time understanding the caselet, you spend some time arranging things and you may or may not get it. And the thing is that it's vast. I can make an arrangement about anything. I can, have prisoners in jails and then, they are wearing different clothes. They are having different accessories. So, arrangements can go anywhere. And the only way in which you can protect yourself against this is by practicing a lot. So this is one thing, guys, that I will tell you in LR, please practice. George Summers is a good book to practice from. You can find it online on Amazon, right? Or Flipkart, one of these places. Please buy George Summers. They have a lot of arrangement questions. Okay. Now, we are going to start off with basic arrangements here and then we'll move on to, more complicated arrangements in the next session. What I wanted to talk to you all about is that how do you know what to work with? So that's the key in arrangements, right? So let me give you an example. You have a couple or you have couples coming in for a party. So there's a party in someone's house and 4 couples come in. They come in a car and they have a pet, let us say. Okay. So you have basically 4 attributes. The name of the man, the name of the woman, right? Husband, wife, the car that they came in and the pet that they have. What should be your primary key? So sometimes the primary key is obvious because there's an implicit order. Like if you're arranging people in months, then there's an implicit order in months that Jan comes before February. And usually questions will also say that this employee was slotted 2 months before some other employee. So when these, there's an order implicit in the keys, then you start, that is your central primary key. So wherever there's an implicit order, guys, you should go ahead with that. Okay. If there is not, then what do you do? So in a case like this, where there's no implicit order, right? So let's say, you have this following information that a particular woman, right? Let's say Freya drove in a Maruti, right? Then Shreya is married to Kaustubh, right? And Anjali is driving, has a monkey as a pet. So and there is, of course, this is just, I'm just giving you snippets of the information. But if most of the this is the direct information, right? Indirect information is when you're saying that Freya did not come in a Toyota. This is indirect. It's not giving you did not come, right? So Toyota goes out for Freya. So indirect information helps us, but the more the direct information you have for a particular key, that becomes your primary key. So, I will start by putting wives and then I'll try and arrange the husbands and the cars and the pets around the wives. So this is the first question you'll need to ask yourself whenever you solve analytical reasoning or logical reasoning question. Okay, what is going to be my primary key? Right? And once you find your primary key, you pick up the right primary key, then solving the questions becomes easier. Okay, so we'll do that. Always we'll discuss what should be the primary key whenever we start solving a question, and we'll look at reasons why we go ahead with something, right? So before we get into more complicated sets later on, let's start off with 2 simple sets today. Okay. Right. So as usual, let me again remind you, because you may be watching my videos for the first time. Please solve this, guys. If you don't solve it and you straight away look at the solutions, your brain is not developing muscle. We all need to exercise, okay? in real life, such things don't happen. You don't have these stupid cases. Remember that a lot of your cat is made up of people who had nothing to do and they made up questions. Okay. So let's understand this. You have 6 booths and you have 6 people, and then you are arranging people in booths, and you know they are named from 1 to 6. There is somebody in booth 4, there are windows and it's adjacent booths. So there's an order in the booth. So the booth is going to be your, not booth, booth. Booth is going to be a primary key. Right? And now what do we know? That O must be allotted booth 4. So here you have O, right? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So O is always in booth 4. Q must be assigned a booth with windows, and 1 and 6 are the booth with windows, right? Given here. So Q must either be ahead or behind. So Q is either here or Q is on this side, one of these. P and R are together, always. Whether P comes first, so this is the kind of information you have to be careful about. They're not saying who comes first. It can be PR, RP, but they need to be together. And N and P are not together. So the first thing is, you have to say that P and R can come here in 5 and 6, or they can come in 1 and 2, or they can come in 2 and 3. So these are the major constraint. P and R, they are the major constraint, guys. Okay. If I didn't have this condition, I would say that P is equal to R. And whatever works for P works for R. So it will help us in eliminating options. It is not going to help us right now because there is a distinction made between P and R by saying that N and P cannot be in adjacent booths. Okay. So let's solve the first question. M gets booth 2. So M is here in booth 2. I'll just erase a part of it. Yeah. So M is in booth 2. Now we already have worked out that since P and R are together, I need 2 consecutive places. Those saath mein jagah I need for P and R to come together. Now that's only possible here. Okay. P and R come here, and we know that Q takes the window. So Q will come here. So N has to come here. Which of the following must be true? That N is assigned booth 3. This one. Okay. Second option. Right? So always the constraint whenever we are solving this set is where do P and R go together? Okay. So N gets a booth with windows. Now, so think about what this mean. Now 2 people have windows. One is Q and one is N. So the first one can be Q or N. Second, third, I don't know. Fourth is O. Fifth, I don't know. And then again Q and N. P and R are together. They need 2 consecutive places. P and R will go here in some order, right? P, R, R, P. Only one place left that M will take. So based on this data, I can say that M is assigned booth 5, first option. So once you focus on the 2 together, you can see that this is not a difficult set at all, right? Now let's look at the third question. P and Q are allotted adjacent booths. So now P, Q and R come together. P, Q and R come together, out of which Q must take the window. So 3 places together, where can they come in this scenario? They can only come in 1, 2, 3. Out of which, where is the window? Here is the window. And P has to be besides Q because they are adjacent, and R has to be with P because P and R are also adjacent. Between M and N, no idea. So I cannot say anything about M. I cannot say anything about N. But yes, R will be booth 3, option 3, and P will not be booth 3. P will be in booth 2. So you're looking at the third option, right? Fourth question, P is not in 1, 2 or 3. So where will P and R go together, guys? Right, always that's the first thing we try and determine, that where will P and R go. So O, P is not here, that means P and R in some order, right, will be 5 or 6. Now Q needs a window, so Q has to be here, so it's between M and N. So given what M will do, I can say what N can do, but given what M will do, I cannot say what P and R will do, right? So I can eliminate the first option because it is connecting P and M. Second option is connecting M and R. I need to connect N and M. That's only happening in the third option. That if N is given booth 3, M will be given booth 2. Even P and M, no connection. Right? Let's look at the fifth question. R must get booth 2. We should just take a booth and settle down, right? What is this? Every time they are changing booths. Okay, so R must get booth 2. Then which of the following must be true? So P is somewhere here. Okay. But we don't know where it is, and now we'll just work with this extra information. If M is given booth 1, then P must be here because they are adjacent. Q gets a window and N is here. So N will be given booth 5. So 1 is true. This is true, which means only 2 and only 3 I can eliminate, which means I don't need to check for 3. Because 3 is not even an option. I need to check for 2. If 2 is true, then I'll mark the fourth option. If 2 is not true, I will just mark the first option, right? So let's check 2. If Q is given booth 1, so see R is still in 2. P will have to come here now. P cannot go in 1. O is here. Can I say anything between M and N? I cannot. M can be in booth 5 and N can be in booth 6, right? So the answer here, 2 need not be true. So answer here is only 1. So guys, before we move away, I really again see we spoke about this when we are doing the dice question also. The difference between could and will. Will means you want a unique solution. Yahan pe the question says which of the following must, which is the same as will. It has to be true, right? So if Q is given booth 1, does M have to be at 5? No, M can be at 6. If the question says which of the following could be true, then 2 would be true. So I want you all to, pay attention to the language when you're solving. Okay, is it about a unique solution or is it about can it happen? Could means even if once it happens, you can mark it right. Will means it has to, will or must, right? Means it has to happen all the time. Yes? So in this case, second option is a could be option. It is not a will be or a must be option. So it is out. 1 happens all the time. So answer is option 1, which is only 1. Right? Great. Now let's do 6 and 10. 6 and 10. Again, as I would say, please solve this, guys. R, S, T, U, V and W are candidates to be interviewed. So again, there is an implicit order here, Monday to Saturday. We will go with that. That will be a primary key. No? So I hope you understand what I mean by implicit. See, I can say, okay, let's put R, S, T, U, V and W. And then we'll try and link this to Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. So then this becomes the primary key. But since there's an implicit order, see, what is it about? Nobody says that T has to be interviewed before or after. When I say before or after, right, I am talking about the days. So the implicit order is not with respect to the alphabet. There's no order here. There's no alphabetical order question, right? The implicit order is in Monday to Saturday. So that will be our primary key, okay? So we just, denote Monday with 1. This is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday. So we are not going to write all the time, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We are just going to put in 6 blanks. So you see how easy it is to work with an implicit order. I don't have to write. I just have 6 blanks that I need to fill up because we understand what the order is. If there was, R, S, T, U, V and W, I'll have to remember the order. If there were names and if they were not in alphabetical order, I'll have to remember that order. I'll have to do 2 times writing. Implicit order saves that, okay? Okay, so first statement, R must be interviewed before W. That does not mean that it is RW. Interviewed before means R can be interviewed on Tuesday, let's say. So W cannot be on Monday. W cannot be before R, but W can be Wednesday. W can be gap Thursday. W can be 2 gaps Friday, etc. That is what it means. So before means ke maybe just before, or maybe 1 day before, or 2 days before. That's what it means. Okay. S is Thursday, so that's a clear, direct information. V cannot be on Tuesday, so that we have to keep in mind that I cannot put V here. T must be image. So yeah, like the earlier question when you had P and R, here you are having T and U together. We don't know the order. And because there is no connection of T or U with anybody else, in this question you can treat T as equal to U. Let's see how that can be helpful. Okay. If T's interview is on Tuesday, so T is here, the earliest W can be interviewed is, so I want W to be interviewed as early as possible. Can W be on Monday? No, because W has to be after R. So let's do R quickly, right? As quickly as possible. So R is Monday. Can I put W here on Wednesday? No, because T के आसपास U होना जरूरी है. So U has to come. U cannot come here. So let's put U here. So the earliest W can be interviewed is on Friday. S is Thursday, remember, right? So the answer is fourth option, Friday. Right? Okay. Seventh question. U is interviewed on Saturday. So you have 1, 2, 3. Then you have S, then you have gap and U. And since T and U are together, T will have to come here. And W's interview is before V. Okay, so what is left here? You have R and W and V. And this is the order, right? W has to be after R and W has to be before V. So R must be interviewed as soon as possible on Monday, right? If I put, for example, W here and then V here, V is on Tuesday, that's a problem, and W cannot come before R. So R first, then W, and then W is before V, right? So R must be interviewed on Monday. First day. So, first option. R's interview can be scheduled for the day immediately before. So, if you go back, right, if you have worked on sheets, you can check. See, R is before W. We have checked that, right? In this case, in this data, we can already see that R is before W. So, coming here, I can eliminate first option because, W ke pehle to we know already it's possible. There's no extra information here, right? So we can eliminate W. Great. And I told you all guys that T is equal to U. So if I can mark this as an answer, then this also becomes an answer. I cannot have 2 right answers. So both of them are not the answers. This is a very important trick, guys. It's nice and convenient. It also is not just applicable in LR, it's also applicable in math. That if 2 variables X and Y are similar, they may not be equal, but they are treated equally in the question. Here T and U are treated equally. There is no distinction made between T or U. So if something works for T, it has to work for U also. See, the question sometimes may distinguish, but your question maybe there is no distinguishing. Question doesn't say anything about T or U. So what works for T would work for U. If you tell me, 8 is the answer, Munira, I'll say, why? Sorry, 8 no. T is the answer for the 8th question, Munira. I'll argue, why is U not the answer? Because T and U, there is no difference. You understood? So both of them cannot be possible. So what are you left with? V. And let's see, just for fun. We don't need to, but let's see why this will not work. If R's interview has to be immediately before V, okay, then R and V cannot come in the last 2 because W has to be after R, no? So R and V cannot come here. That means R and V have to come here. They have to be in the first 3. So T and U have to be here because I need 2 consecutive. So T and U cannot come in the first 3 because R and V are already there. Okay, so T and U are here in some order. Now R has to be immediately before some V and also before W. So R has to be on Monday. R cannot be on Tuesday because then W or V will come before R. So R has to be on Monday, which means V is Tuesday. So, and this is not possible. We cannot be interviewed on Tuesday. That's why the answer is V. But guys, you don't need to do this. Please have confidence that W we eliminated because we already had one option. And then T and U we said are similar. So answer is V, right? Great. Ninth question. Any of these could be interviewed on the day before or after the day T is interviewed except. So, see, we know that T and U दोस्त हैं T and U हमेशा साथ रहते हैं. T and U are friends, good friends. They cannot. So anyway, coming back to that. Now I want to add one more person with the T and U combo. So where will those three guys go? U is not here in the option, right? It has to be one more. So those three guys will come here. So T, U के साथ I can have anybody. I can even have V. I can have V on Monday. And then T and U, right? What I cannot have is W because R has not taken place yet. Okay. So if I have W, T, U right in the beginning and R comes after S, that is not going to work out. So you will have to have RTU or VTU or even, TU and S together. That can easily happen. S is already fixed. But you cannot have W, T and U because then W will come before R, which is not possible. Right? 10th question. If R's interview must be on the day immediately after V's interview, so R and V come together immediately after, then R's interview is on which day? So again, guys, the constraint about R is that R cannot be in the last two if R is with someone. I can have R here with W afterwards, but if R and V are together, this is not happening because where will W go? So R will come in the first three with V. So T and U will come here and that means R, V, W all come together. R and W and V. Out of which R has to be after V and before W. So the only possibility is this. After V and before W. So R is on Tuesday. So they are slightly similar questions, but this set is a little more difficult. And we learned an interesting concept of equality between variables, right? So keep that in mind when you're solving questions in both maths and DILR. Okay, let's do this also that comes in the CAT. These are single LRDI questions. So my first advice to you all is do not attempt them until you have finished everything else. Right? So finish matlab you have gone through everything else. You feel कि okay, जो भी बाकी सब में easy था, I have finished. Right? Then you come back and look at these questions. Okay? Because these questions, there's a lot of reading and what you get at the end of all that mehnat is just one right question, hopefully. Okay? So great. Let's do this. Kites of 6 colors. Orange, yellow, white, green, blue and red. 3 boys go to the shop to buy kites. So see, there are 6 kite colors most likely and there are 3 boys. So each boy buys 2 kites, right? So one boy buys 2 kites. The kites are all different in color for the 2 that each buys. And they are different from those of the other 2 boys. So that's what, right? When you read this only, you know, okay, all these 3 boys are going to buy all the 6 kites. ये होने वाला है. Okay. Now green and yellow is brought together by one boy. Madan has a white kite. Okay. And red and orange are not bought by the same boy. So yeah, ये तो फिक्स हो गया ना, ये दोनों साथ है तो रेड एंड ऑरेंज यहाँ तो नहीं आ सकता. That means one out of red and orange will come here and the other out of red and orange will go to the other boy. And where will the only color left now is blue. So blue will also come here to the other boy. Okay, now let's come to the question. If Mohan's kites are neither red nor blue. Okay, so Mohan's kites are not blue. This goes off. Right? They're not red. So this also goes off. Then Mohan's kites can only be green and yellow. Right? So once you know it's not red or blue, then you can eliminate both these options. The only option left is green and yellow, right? Great. Let's move on to the 12th question. 3 playing cards are placed in a row. Guys, again, let me reiterate. Please solve before you look at the solution. The club is to the right of the heart and the diamond. So, first question is ke kiska right? See, the cards are not human beings. It's always left and right from our point of view. Okay? It's not left and right unless specifically they mention that to the right of and this guy is facing there. Then you make those changes. Otherwise, you just assume it is from our point of view. Okay? So the club is to the right of the heart and the diamond. That means the club is here. Heart and diamond are somewhere here. The 6 is to the left of the heart. Okay? Now, यहाँ पे club है और heart के left में कोई है, so heart cannot be here because then nothing is to the left of heart. So heart must be here and diamond is hence here. Now 6 is to the left of the heart, so 6 must be here. And 4 is to the right of 8, so 4 is here and 8 is here. So see, this is very easy. So it's not as if I'm saying you never attempt this. There may be easy questions in this. But first do the easy set wale questions and then come and do these questions, right? So we are looking at 6 of diamonds, 8 of hearts and 4 of clubs, right? Last question, guys. In order to get selected in an interview, you have 4 candidates and you have 4 positions. And this is just a combination of direct, indirect information. If you want to get it quickly in a jiffy, okay? They're saying that no 2 candidates have the same qualification. So, once you say that B is, let's say, an MA, then, you can eliminate everybody else from being an MA. And B is also no longer an MA, right? So, to solve this without thinking and quickly, okay, you'll definitely get the answer. You have to make a table like this. A, B, C, D. Okay, these are the 4 people. And they can be MA, right? MBA. So sometimes you may not need to do this. Sometimes it may be easier to just work, but this is a sure shot method. So why just waste time trying 1 or 2 things? Just draw this table. Okay. It's not a beautiful table by any standards, but it will serve its purpose. That's important, right? Okay. So what do we have? A and C are not MBAs. So see, now it's very quick. I mean, you don't need to do the grid, right? You can, if you do this fast-paced enough, you can just quickly just write these A, B, C, D, MA, MBA, etc. and then just start your work. So A and C are not MBAs. This is gone. B and C are not MAs. So this is gone. C and D are not MCAs. So you see, C is not an MCA. C has to be an MTech. तो ये आप तुरंत पूरा कॉलम भर सकते हैं. So C and D are not MCAs. So ये भी गया. Okay. We are still not able to find anything else unique, but you have one more information. D and A are not MTechs. So that we already know. Okay, D and A, who is MTech we know. So this information actually is extra. It was not needed only. If B is an MCA, great. If B is an MCA, so this goes off. That means A has to be MA. This goes off. B has to be an MBA. So you see, it becomes very quick. I don't need to think. There is no कि शायद होगा, शायद नहीं होगा, right? It's just a very quick, easy solution. In less than 30-40 seconds, you can solve it. So I would really recommend this 4x4 table if there is just a combination of indirect, direct information, right? So what was the question? Which of the following, who is an MBA? D. Y'all are D. Y'all are all going to be MBAs, right? So great. This is our first session for LR. Before we move away, there is a bonus puzzle as usual, something to think about till we meet next. In a certain month, 3 of the Mondays have dates that are even numbers. The 15th day of this month is which day of the week? Was it Saturday, Sunday, Monday? That's what you all need to find out. Don't sit with a calendar. Try and think this through, right? Finally, when are we meeting next? We are meeting tomorrow at 11 o'clock. We'll start off with ratios and partnerships now. And we'll meet again where you can ask me anything on Saturday at 11 in the morning. Hope to see you all then. You can also find me on Unacademy, where there is a host of features like live classes, great educators. So you have other 100 percentilers such as Patrick, right? And you have live polls, test series and analysis. You have live doubt clearing sessions. And you can use my code to get Munira 10 subscription. If you're focused on CAT 2020 only, you can go for 6 months or 12 months. If you're if you're unclear, right? If you're working and you have a big workload, or you have assignments, whatever, then you may go for 12 months or 24 months if you are confused between CAT 2020 and CAT 2021, right? So great. It was fun talking to you. You can use my code for the subscription and see you soon. Bye-bye. Take care.